We are broadcasting and we are live. So, hello everyone, and welcome back to Adventure on so many levels. We're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Yay!
Yay!
Tonight, we are continuing our adventure in Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel with the level 4 adventurer, The Fiend of Hollow Mine.
Uh-oh.
Dun,
But
dun, dun.
first, let's introduce ourselves. I am Christiana Ellis. I am the Dungeon Master. Our players tonight, Paul Weimer as Xenophon.
Your narrator was gone for a time, but now Flounce and I are going to a mine.
Uh,
Right.
Jason Banks as Exel.
Hello, everyone.
Lee Burdett as Flounce.
What he said.
David Archambault as Dianok.
Oh, we could really use some backup.
And Nobilis as Kenthan.
I'm in danger.
So,
I get that reference.
So let us begin right now with the story of what happened with Xenophon and Flounce since the last episode. So, what happened to the Order of the Golden Prawn, having received a note suggesting that they had been invited to meet with the speakers for the ancestors at the Radiant Citadel? They went and had sort of a perfunctory preliminary meeting where it was suggested that they might be on a short list to join an organization known as the Shield Bearers. And he had sort of a probationary first assignment for you to investigate a strange suspicion that something was amiss in the land of San Citlan, which was one of the places connected to the Radiant Citadel, and the spirit that had associated with that land had worried that there was something going wrong, and so they were dispatched. But Flounce and Xenophon were held back for other business by the leader of the Shield Bearers, and what he suggested is that there was a time pressure to send someone right away. However, there was also someone here at the Citadel that had potentially another concern. It wasn't clear whether it was connected at all, but they were not going to be available until the next morning to speak with you. So they held Xenophon and Flounce back in order to talk to this person before rejoining their compatriots in San Citlan. And you were given sending stones to be able to communicate once you get there. But as Xenophon and Flounce arrange to meet at the meeting place the next morning, there is a young man named Cristobal who is there basically to petition that the speaker, the ancestors here at the Radiant Citadel do something about a problem, and you have been dispatched to speak with him on their behalf.
Okay.
All right.
I think this is probably at some little pop-up street cafe sort of place nearby the Hall of the Ancestors. So one half of your local horizon is dominated by the enormous monolithic wall of the Auroral Diamond. Here, I'll put us back on the Radiant Citadel map for now. But
Still haven't
yes.
gotten used to that.
But yes, so you have you have arranged, and here he is, and he looks to you, and he takes off his wide brimmed hat and says, "Hello, are you the people the Shield Bearers wanted me to speak to?"
We are.
What can we do
I'm
for you?
Xenophon. This is Flounce. We've been dispatched by the Shield Bearers to hear your petition. please.
Thank you.
proceed.
I just didn't know where else to go, but I don't know if you know much about my land of Sansitlan, but it is plagued by wealthy landowners who hoard all of the wealth of the land to themselves, and that's bad enough. But I have a suspicion that one of the Tricera, which is the organization that's it's a bit like the local government there. I believe that he is not merely corrupt, but planning something evil.
Ooh.
The
What sort
Tricena,
of
I should say. Yes, that's I remember what it is, and it's the Tricena.
what has brought you to these suspicions? What have you seen or heard?
Well, I work in the I work in San Sitlan, which is the city in the biggest city in the area, and there are a lot of metalworks in the city there because that's one of the things that the land is able to provide resource wise is metals which are useful for the production of metal goods. And I was walking home from work and I saw one of the Trecena, the master of arms at the Trecena, a man named Itzmin. And I saw him. The, the problem I have here is that in some respects, what I actually saw with my eyes is hard to explain why it feels evil, and yet this is my this is why I was ignored elsewhere and had only here to come to. He approached and went inside a a metalworks that's supposed to be abandoned and closed down, and he's a very big important politician. I don't know why he would have any need to go to an abandoned metalworks.
Hmm.
And then some of the noises I heard inside that place did not sound like they were made by any mortal creature that I've ever heard. And I don't know what he was doing in there. I was too scared, but after I heard these sounds, I saw him come back out again alone. And I have a certainty without any real detail that he is up to something bad.
Okay.
All right.
I
Go ahead, Flance.
I was gonna say I think that that definitely um, deserves looking into. Um, can you? I know that this is uncomfortable. Can you describe the sounds that you heard? Were they the sounds of inanimate things hitting animate things?
No,
Were they screams?
it. I think the only thing I can think of that it was anything like at all was the screech of an owl, but somehow it was much bigger and deeper, and it just it must have been like magic in some way that it sent a chill up my spine that I can't explain just from the sound.
Okay.
Is this a metalworks that you pass by frequently? Is this the first time you've heard something out of this metalworks?
Yes, I mean it's on my way home from work, and so uh, I I I don't know that there's anything special about it. I wouldn't have thought anything about it at all if I didn't see a fancy, well-dressed politician going in there in the just as the sun had gone down.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, I do believe that that warrants warrants some investigation. Um,
I'm so relieved because I have to be honest with you. There in the city, I frankly didn't feel safe even
mhm.
making such a suggestion. The people who didn't laugh at me for imagining things would potentially want to get rid of me for spreading gossip about a high ranking politician.
If I may
There,
suggest, you may wish to stay here for a while
yeah,
matters are investigated. So
yeah,
your safety should be considered here.
Thank you.
yeah,
Yes, I have a place that I can stay for a little while, but I want to go home. I have a job.
yeah. The maybe send them a message to say, hey, I'm visiting the House of Convalescence, just to make sure I'm okay, and can you give me a couple of days? Um, and uh, the there are more of us um, in our party, and I would like to bring. I'm sure Xenophon agrees. We would like to bring all of our expertise to bear on the situation.
Mhm.
Um, if you can hang out here, we'll bring our entire party back and talk to you again to get more details, and then we'll go and investigate and see what we can find out.
Thank you. Like I said, I don't even know what there is to be done except that it sounded bad and well beyond what I am capable to investigate
Yeah,
myself.
Well, we do investigate mysteries, so I think you've come to the right people to
yeah,
help you with
and
this issue.
and we're more than happy to see what we can do.
So, with that, I think that we are going to. If you'll allow me, I will give a brief montage of the things that happen over the next little bit there for Xenophon and Flounce. Is that
Okay.
you board the Fire Opal Concord Gem, these magical gemstone vehicles that teleport between the ethereal plane where the Radiant Citadel is and the material plane into the land of San Citlan, and you are dropped off a couple of miles north of a little town called Milpazul, and you've been given some of this information. And as you arrive in that little town, you start inquiring about, catching up with the rest of your party. For some reason, um, uh, let's let's say the uh, I am just trying. You know what? I am saying for some reason the sending stone you got does not seem to be working. Um, and
This is why we need Dianok with us.
yes, um, or perhaps I'm going to I'm okay. You don't think anything of it. The sending stone is you figure. Oh, okay. Never mind. Forgive me. This is what happens instead. You decide because you can only use the sending stone once per day that you're going to try some more mundane means to see if you can catch up with them before you try that.
Okay.
Okay.
So you arrive in Milpazul, you ask about this party, and you are told by a living or undead at least, but friendly and aware skeleton named Rufina. You had been briefed that this is something that happens in this land. In its an accepted part of the culture is that sometimes the people's ancestors come back on this Day of Remembrance festival and then just kind of stick around as skeletons, and no one's quite sure why. But you're told by Rufina that she met your friends and that they had agreed to investigate what seemed to be a curse, which is appearing as a disease in a lot of the population called the Serrano, where
Mm,
people get it and they can't get themselves warm. And it seems to be, although the progression is different, proceeds different speeds depending on the person, it seems to be invariably fatal eventually.
okay.
And the theory is that there is a fiend somewhere in the area near Hollow, which is an abandoned mining town, and that is the source of the curse. And so the rest of your friends had gone there to investigate that. So you traveled all the way to Hollow, which took you the better part of a day. And you realized that you had actually kind of just missed them. They had only left like an hour or so before.
Hmm.
And so you were spending all this time trying to catch up with them. And then once you arrived at this little mining town of Hollow, just as you came up, you saw a very fancy sort of carriage pulling away, like off, going off to the south. But there were a few people, just laborers apparently, who were, finishing up various bits of business there in the town. And when you inquired, they, first of all, kind of whispered amongst themselves, but then they said, your friends just went down to investigate the mine. And so you followed down into the mine, into the mine entrance. And so let me get us all back on that mine map. And so the two of you here made your way into the mine entrance. And you saw an old metal mining elevator that looked like it was in terrible shape. But fortunately, you also saw that a pile of rocks had been cleared away from one wall where there was an old door hanging open. And so you proceeded to head down that way, and you were starting to explore that tunnel when all of a sudden there was a shake and a tremor, and dust and gravel falls from the ceiling. And when you duck back and look through the door, right behind you, all of those laborers have apparently used explosives to seal off the mine entrance. You are trapped.
And you don't even have a duck.
And we do not even have a duck.
That's a reference that I think that the listeners can. I think it's fun to just leave it a mystery for you. But I will confirm that you do not have a duck.
Okay.
So I guess what I would like
need
to
to
do, at
fix
least
that.
for the immediate moment, though, is Xenophon and Flounce. These people told you that your friends had gone down in this mine, but then they sealed the entrance after you.
We have been tricked. If our
Well,
friends are down here,
we are very trusting and credulous people.
I'm a people person. These people are not my people.
Yeah.
So either
Well,
our
I'm a
friends are
bunny.
down here and somewhere ahead of us, or they've done something to our friend and they've trapped us here to keep us from knowing about it.
Okay. Well, let's try the sending stone and see if it works.
That sounds perfect. I think you have it.
Okay.
All right.
So what do you send into the sending stone? It works basically just like the sending spell. So you
Yeah.
have 25 words that you can say, and then they can reply.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, we're just getting everyone back together, so I don't think
Yeah.
you don't have to necessarily
Yeah.
write a poem. But
Hey guys, Xenophon and I are in the mine, and the entrance has been blown up. Please confirm whether you are inside or outside. Flounce.
all right.
Well, I've got the other end of it.
So before we get back to the reply, we'll briefly recap that the rest of the party is in fact also in this mine, and had encountered not only a magical trap that dumped them down a hole, but a mysterious woman who seemed to have ghouls strapped to a table and a large pile of skeletons at the bottom of this hole, which seems to have been corpse disposal and was also populated by a couple of ochre jelly oozes. With a lot of running about, they managed to defeat this woman, and the ghouls, the oozes, have helpfully cleaned up the mess, but are still at large. Here down in this little room, you had just found some signs that there was even more afoot here within the mine, and that's when you get this sending from Flounce.
I will reply. Good to hear you. Yes, we're in the mine. Come down. Careful in the bone room. Ochre jellies at large.
All right.
All right.
So, Xenophon and Flounce, are you proceeding down?
Yes, we
Yep.
are.
Okay. So, the rest of you, are you gonna just like wait where you are for them, or?
I'm actually thinking of, I'm going to discuss this with my friends here.
Theonarch would like to wait. It's like, oh,
Well, yes, but should we go up and like wait at the edge of that bone room and see if they need help?
Flounce and Xenophon, I just moved you down to the next map layer, which follows that tunnel you were in.
well, if
Yep.
you're gonna do that, it's I would recommend, uh, you know, being very, very careful because we don't want to tangle with those Zeus's again. You know,
I agree. How about if we hang out just like back a ways out of earshot, but where we can hear if they are suddenly screaming, "Oh my God, ochre jellies!"
okay, yeah. Well, I can do that.
So gonna move up a little closer,
Okay.
um, but
So I think if you stay about right where you are on the map now,
yeah.
no check is needed, but any closer
Right.
and you'll have to
That's
start
yeah.
making stealth
So
checks.
I'll wait there because our I want to make it so that our light doesn't project into the room.
Hmm.
That's kind of the
On the off chance that ochre jellies with no eyeballs are able to even detect light, but sure, why not?
It's possible their sense organs
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
spread across their body like an amoeba.
or for that matter, it's more representational than direct. It's just and yeah.
All right. So,
So I will relay Canthan's message to Xenophon
I am not
and
certain what
say,
an ochre jelly is. I'm not sure I like the idea of an ochre jelly. Doesn't
Ugh.
does sound like something to eat?
no, it doesn't. It definitely sounds like something that's bigger than me.
It's a relative of the mud pie.
Mhm.
I honestly hope that the trap is still sprung, so it's not a surprise.
Right, so
Well, I don't know if if it resets. I didn't have enough words to tell him about it.
mhm.
I...
All right. So, Flounce and Xenophon.
yeah, let us move slowly and carefully, Flats.
This is not moving slowly and carefully.
So you see this tunnel. You are certainly going downhill as you proceed through this tunnel.
Yeah.
Just as far as sort of spatial geography is concerned, you get the feeling that although there is no entrance for it on this level, you suspect that the elevator shaft must be to your left right now.
Mhm.
But
You
as
can see better than I can, correct, Fonts?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have dark vision.
I know.
Yes, I do not.
I was
Yeah.
Yeah.
not sure why you weren't answering this all.
Yeah.
So I think as you get close to the end of this tunnel, you do see that the 10 feet at the end of the tunnel is actually just a hole. And it does not even look like a dug hole. It looks just like it's magically smooth sided. And
Oh,
it does have uh, a rope that has been tied to something descending down into it. However, that rope looks very sort of acid burned and worn. And the wooden door at the other end of that hole um, is hanging open, and you can see that there's some sort of like a little strange workshop in there with tables that have like straps on them and stuff.
okay.
Did they go down or across?
Well, they said that there was somebody. I'm trying to remember what Canthan's message said versus what
Mm-hmm.
I know in the meta.
Sure. How about this? I will. It's if you like, you can make an intelligence check to see if you remember, even if the player does not.
Yeah. Okay. Would that be insight?
Intelligence.
Yeah. Okay. So just an intelligence roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean history, I guess, if you have that as a trained skill.
No. Nope. But I got a 16.
Okay. Yeah, I think you remember. What he said is careful in the bone room.
Yeah. Yeah. That he said careful in the bone room, but that doesn't look like a bone room.
Well, look into the pit, see if there's that goes somewhere, or they just use the rope to climb themselves out of the pit.
All right. I'm gonna jump over.
Okay. Yeah, I think with your your rabbit hop thing, you easily done. If you want to use a use of it, it's just like that. But otherwise, I'll have you make a check, although it wouldn't necessarily be a difficult one.
Heck, I'll just use the rabbit hop.
Sure, easy.
I've got two of those.
Hop
I
hop.
think.
Yep, you've made it over easily.
Yeah, I've got two of those. Um, bloop. And let me get out of the way so Xenophon can get in.
Mm-hmm. So, Xenophon, I think that a 10-foot, like with a running start, a 10-foot jump is not necessarily. Actually, what is someone want to quickly look up what the long jump rules are?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I know that they're based, like what you can do is based on your jump, your strength score, but I don't have the rule just readily up if someone else wants to look it up.
Yeah.
Let's see, long jump. When you make a long jump, you cover a number of feet up to your strength score. If you move at least 10 feet on foot immediately before the jump, when you make a standing long jump, you can only do half the distance.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, each foot you clear on the jump costs a foot of movement.
Sure. So basically, this is a 10-foot gap. What is your strength score, Xenophon?
8.
8. Oh, okay. Well, so you actually think that it might be difficult for you to make that jump.
Yeah.
Can I assist?
Yeah, absolutely.
Bunny
Like if you wanna...
holds out the flail
Mm-hmm.
or the glaive. Pull in first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'll let you make an athletics check with advantage, Xenophon.
All right. An athletics check with advantage. Let's give it a shot.
Yep. Not the pointy end first.
Okay, I got a 14.
Okay. I think you make it. It highlights to you that you do not think you would have made it.
No, this is not my.
But thankfully, because Flounce was there, you were able to grab the pole of her weapon, and with her help, she's able to pull you up and across.
I thank you, Flounce, for your help. I would have fallen in the pit and called Yelp.
Yeah. So what you find in this room here is that there are, as mentioned, these tables with straps on them. There is a general smell of like decay in here. The floor through most of the center of it is like just surprisingly clean, bare rock, except that there is in the center of the floor a few little scraps of like rags, like old rags that look like they might have been part of a cloak or something, but seem like they're very sort of acid burned.
More of this acid stuff.
Hmm.
I'm wondering if
You do
those
see that
oozes.
there is a chest in this room.
Oh, there is a chest.
There is a chest.
And like I said, some of these scraps, like you could, never mind. Yeah, see the rags look like they're just little bits of paper here and there,
Yeah.
or not paper, but cloth.
Well, I will poke the chest with my glaive to see if it's a mimic.
Okay. It's not. You can see that there is a lot of coins in there. There's 2,500 copper pieces, 950 silver pieces, and jewelry and other trinkets worth about 90 gold. And then there's there's a desk with some various notes and stuff like that.
Okay. Um, I think this is definitely something to come back for.
I concur. We should find our friends before we do any.
Yeah, let's. What do the notes say?
Well, you would need to study them for a little bit. I mean, I
Okay.
think that at first glance they seem to be notes on some kind of experimentation, but I think you would have to spend a little bit more time on them to know more.
Okay. Um,
So, which you
I
could do now if you want, but you do have your friends waiting for you.
yeah, I tell you what, I'm going to gather the notes up and put them in my pocket.
All right.
And just take them with us. I
I
really
appear,
don't want to
appear
go
to be a
down the
bad.
hole.
I appear to be a bad influence on you, taking notes and everything everywhere rather than.
Well, if we find the owner, if they seem important, we can at least return them or something. It's just, you know, maybe this is it. Maybe this will give us the key to the whatever,
Sure.
yada yada,
So
etc.
the only other entrance or exit of this room is this cave to the north, which continues to slope downhill.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but I really don't want to go down the hole.
No, I don't want to go down the hole unless we absolutely have to.
I want to go down the hole.
Anybody gonna look down the hole?
I my light probably won't show very much, but let's look up.
Yeah. Well,
I
I can.
think yeah,
I can peek.
it's a 30-foot drop, and so your torch would have dim light at the bottom. Flounce would be able to.
Yeah, I think Flounce is better off looking.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll peek over.
You see a bunch of bones down there.
Mm-hmm. Reinforcing my desire not to go down the hole. So, no friends down the hole.
Oh well, let's call. Well, we might as well call them. Dianok, Canthan, Axel.
Can we hear them?
I think you do.
Yeah.
But it's also like there. It's sort of a slightly distant, echoey sound, but it's also, you're realizing like probably if you can hear them, other things probably could.
Oh,
Yeah, we're down here. Don't just keep coming down the path, and be careful in the bone room.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So we're not going down the short way.
Okay.
I
So
know you
as
wanna
mentioned, there's a
no.
rope that's clearly been tied that goes down that hole, but it looks messed up.
Mm-hmm.
And they're warning us off of it, so I think we take half.
Yep.
All right.
So let us.
ah,
What's that?
I
Grab
wish
it.
I had message.
Message would be good.
Yeah. So as you kind of look around the corner there, you see in that tunnel, I'll move you down to the next layer.
Okay.
There we are.
So the tunnel kind of curves around, and then you can see that around a little bend, it seems to have a sort of a T-junction.
All right.
Are the two of you being stealthy?
As much as Flounce is capable of being stealthy,
Xenophon, yes, Xenophon's trying to be stealthy, though he's not very good at it. Well, he's got +2. He's not terrible.
yeah. Flounce has chainmail. She jingles when she hops.
Yeah, a chainmail plus a bunny. That's going to be toing, 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 toing.
All right, so let's hear your
Need to
stealth
get
checks
you
then.
in a breastplate.
Stealth roll?
Yep.
All
All
right,
right.
stealth roll.
Assuming that you
and-
are being stealthy. I mean that was the question.
Oh, Xenophon is actually sneaky for a change.
Flounce is not.
You're the noise.
Yep, I am the noise that quacks in the night, or that hops in the night.
All right. So you're making your way down. Like, so it is disadvantage, right? So the 5 is the number.
Yeah,
Yeah.
5 is the number.
Yeah. So you're doing your best, making your way down.
Yeah. Ting.
To be clear, you would not see these. Let me put them back on the. You wouldn't see anything in there. But you do see, as you kind of look to your right and your left, is that to your right, map left, is a short passage that just seems to open to the elevator shaft. But to your left is and you can actually see not only this big pile of bones, but you can also see in the ceiling the bottom of the hole that you jumped over from the next level up.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
Yeah, so it's just a big tumbled pile of bones that look like they probably at some point or another all got dropped through that same hole.
Okay.
All right, so now we gotta get through this mess carefully.
Uh-huh.
You saw that animated skeleton when we got here. I would not be surprised me if there are animated skeletons lying in these piles of bones. Let us not disturb them, or give off a groan.
Just because we did it last time, I'll say that one of the things that you were briefed on before you came here is, as I sort of said briefly, that there is in the culture of this land what is known as olvidados, which are essentially like they are animated skeletons, but like they may as well just be people. Like they remember their former lives and they live in society and they are accepted as part of an ordinary thing here. Like no one's exactly sure why some become olvidados and others don't, but it's understood. People get it around here. They're not
Okay.
considered evil.
Okay. So your thought is that we hug the walls of the room?
I do not want to touch those bones if at all possible.
Yeah.
I mean, even if there's nothing in it, there's a cultural sensitivity here.
Yeah. Well, let me get out of the way a little bit, and you can come forward and kind of see. There
Yeah.
looks like there's not really much of a path, but the door to the south, we can kind of edge around.
By the way, Canthan, you'd be hearing all of this at this point.
Like, yeah. Yeah.
So go around
Go,
here.
yeah, go ahead and try that. I have no idea if it's going to work.
All right.
Oh, and we can hear that just fine.
I'm trying
I mean,
to
it's quiet because he's speaking quietly, but
yeah.
yeah,
I'm
I
not
mean, you're
shouting.
not far apart
Okay.
at this point.
Yeah, so I think that's the plan, Flans. We
Okay.
it's the shortest amount of bone space.
All right. DNR would like to also call out quietly. The jellies are in the bones.
All
The
right.
jellies are in the
I mean, it's a
bones.
perfectly straightforward thing to say. In context, it's just funny.
The
out of
jellies
context.
are in the
The
bones.
jellies are in the bones.
Yeah, yeah.
If we
Um,
die, that's what my ghost is gonna say. The jellies are in the bowl.
Okay.
All right.
all
Maybe
right,
you want to.
Flounce. As you step into that spot, suddenly lurching up out of the bones is a slurping pile of orangish yellow goop that
Oh,
flings out a pseudopod at you and gets a 23 to hit.
That hits.
That's going to be 11 bludgeoning and 5 acid damage.
So
Holy.
16.
Yes.
Yeah,
that
And
hit
we're
hard.
rolling initiative.
Oh, goodbye. Dun, dun, dun.
And
I'm guessing-
you can see that there's another one starting to come up out of the bones as well.
I'm guessing we all roll initiative.
Yeah, unless you're going to just stand there and watch these.
Watch
oozes
your
attack
friends
your
die.
friends.
You could.
Mhm.
It's a choice.
All right.
Wish I hadn't wasted that on initiative.
Let's see.
Hey, as
I've added you to the turn tracker. Do you
as
want-
Frostman proved to us. Yeah, as right when the Frostman proved to us, high initiatives are not necessarily wasted.
Yes, that's very true.
That is also very true.
It can be great. Okay, so we had the held action attack from the oozes that heard you coming, because of course they did. You got a 5. But Exel, you have the opportunity now to act next as you would like. And so obviously, the map layer you're on right now is a little, removed, but it's not far up the tunnel. I'll move you over if you need. Depends on what you're doing. What are you doing?
Dun, dun, dun.
Exel?
Jason.
AKA Jason? Oh, there
let's
you go.
see. Okay. Well, I mean, there's only one thing to do. It's gonna go around. Let's see here.
All right, so I'll move you. That would be 15 feet of movement.
Then move me the rest, the 15 more feet.
Okay.
So I could be. I guess it should be. That puts me right in the map.
Yeah. So at with 30 feet, yeah, you can just get to where you have line of sight on these things.
Awesome. Which one is coming out of the bones, and which one is out?
Well, both of them are enough out that you could attack them.
Okay.
What I'll say is that the one of them looks bigger than the other. The nearer one to you is bigger than the other. You suspect that might be because that's the bigger one is the one that you guys didn't wail on already.
Right. I was gonna say it's because it ate the lady upstairs.
Oh.
So yeah. I don't know what I've got.
They both had lots of snacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Well,
actually.
because each of them had a ghoul, and one of them had the lady also.
I had there were only 3 enemies. Then. Okay, yeah.
So, Axel, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just gonna be. Shit. You know, let's do it. We'll go with frostbite.
Okay.
Good
On
choice.
the nearer
Good
one?
choice.
They must make a Constitution save.
Okay.
They probably have good constitution.
They do, more or less, yeah. Not when they roll a natural 1, though.
DC 13 fails, so that means it's 1d6 cold damage, and it has disadvantage on its next weapon attack roll it makes before the end of its next turn.
You're a
Oh.
little bit quiet if you can speak a little more into the mic, but go ahead and roll. So 2 damage, and it's disadvantage on its next attack.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Wow. 2 whole points. That's excellent.
Well, you know.
The
Better
But that
disadvantage is going to be good though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's your turn, Exel. You used all your movement, so you're kind of there blocking the hallway, but your friends can move through you if they need.
Right.
Can't then. Your turn.
I'm going to move up behind Exel. Can I squeeze up against the wall and take up that space, or is that kind of? Yeah, I think that's kind of.
No, I don't think
bad.
there's quite room there. Like someone could
Yeah,
move
all right.
past you, but not stop where you are.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll actually squeeze past Exel
Hmm.
and take a whack at this thing with my halberd.
Gotcha.
It's not letting me roll dice. What's going on here?
Oh. I was gonna say everyone's rolling
alright.
in slow motion tonight.
Yeah.
I rolled a natural one.
Oh
Oof.
no. Yeah. Natural one's not gonna do it, I'm afraid. I think what happens is you stab your halberd forward, and it actually you end up spearing like a femur, and but now the femur is like stuck on the sharp end of your
Okay.
your halberd. So you
Alright,
like you pull it
well-
out and it's like stuck on there.
Yeah. I will take a bonus action and attack with the butt end.
All right.
Uh,
Do you have to get within 5 feet to do that?
oh yeah, it's got a 5-foot reach. Never
Yeah.
mind. Yeah, I'm gonna not gonna do that.
Okay. All right. Is that the end of your turn then?
That's the end of my turn.
Okay, Flounce.
Okay,
The
Flounce.
scoop like smacked you and burned you.
Yeah, like ow, and oh my god, and grr. You now
He's
you now have a
turned
very
Valley
angry
Bunny.
you have a very angry bunny growling at you. Chromatic orb.
Okay.
At the one that smacked me.
Sure.
And I think we're gonna go for cold damage since that seemed to hurt it.
Okay.
And that is a 23 to hit.
That will definitely
Nice.
hit.
And
Better
that's
damage than us.
going to be 13 points of cold damage.
Nice.
Nice.
Eesh.
Yeah,
All
that
right.
definitely a big chunk of it just freezes solid and then kind of just like crumbles off of it, depleting its mass substantially.
Okay, and I think as a bonus action, can I invoke 2 runes at the same time?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, like I would allow you if it says you can. It's not a permission thing. It's like
It doesn't say that I can't. But this is a
well,
let's see.
is it not any kind of action or bonus action to do it?
Well, no, actually, it's a reaction. Never mind.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait on using Giant Smite for a little bit.
Okay.
Um,
So, like, if it like a reaction that like enhances your attack or something like that.
it basically the stone rune is when a creature you can see ends its turn within 30 feet of you. So
Okay.
I think I have to wait until after they've done their thing.
Okay.
I can use my reaction to force them to make a wisdom saving throw, and if they miss it, they're charmed for a minute.
I'll allow you to do that now since it kind of like surprised you.
Okay.
Yeah. So
It's a DC 12 wisdom saving throw.
okay.
And I want it on that one.
Okay. Wisdom. They're not good at wisdom. It rolled better than I would have guessed, but it still only got an 11.
Okay, so it is charmed for a minute.
Oh, I
Um,
think actually, I think the ochre jellies are too dumb to be charmed. Yeah, they're
oh,
immune to
okay.
charm. I'm afraid. Sorry.
Yeah, charmed in this way, it has a speed of 0 and is incapacitated.
Well, that will be very
Yeah.
cool when it happens to something that's capable of being charmed.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say I tried it and it did not work, and so that's been used.
Yeah. Okay. All
I
right.
get it.
Anything else for your turn? You staying where you are?
Yep, I'm staying where I am.
Okay. That was Flounce. Xenophon, your turn.
Okay, Xenophon's going to move to here, and then he's going to cast Thunder Wave at the two ochre jellies.
Nice. Okay. They both make Constitution saves. Is that right?
That's correct. Constitution 13.
Okay. All right.
Hope they fail. 'Cause blowing those back would be a good thing.
That's why I tried it.
The first one fails with an 8. The second one probably saves with a 19.
Yes, the second one did save.
So
So,
the northmost one failed.
okay, so the north one most takes 5. The south one, it gets pushed. The south one takes 2.
Okay. That one is blasted back against the wall, splorts against the wall there, along with a clatter of bones from the pile as they shatter against the stone wall. The other one takes, it ripples a little bit like jello, but it is able to hold onto the ground enough that it does not get shoved away.
Okay, and as a bonus action, I will point to Canthan and say, Canthan, I am glad you're here. I'm going to help you make these ochres go disappear and give you bardic inspiration.
Okay.
All right. It is the ochre jelly's turn now. I think that the one that attacked you before is going to do so again. Flounce?
Okay.
Did I close that? Never mind. It doesn't. It's fine. So yeah, it's gonna just pseudopod attack you, but it has disadvantage because of the frostbite. So it only gets an 8.
That does not hit.
All right. The other one. What was their speed? Can't believe I closed that.
Remember, it's very slow.
Yeah, I believe they are, but I'm going to confirm what it is actually. See if the other one can catch back up. I believe it's only 10 feet. So the other one is trying to creep up to get back to where it can attack you, Xenophon.
Mhm.
And it does manage to get up near you, but has to essentially dash to do so. So it has no attack this time.
I am a very squishy bard. I have no armor class. This is bad.
All right. So that is their turn. Deanoch, it is your turn.
Oh,
Wizard!
do not like this.
Wizard!
Do not like the Sam I am. I do not like green eggs and ham. Okay, and my connection to the server was interrupted.
Okay.
But I think it's back.
Well, so I mean, like, even if you can't necessarily move on the map properly right now, what's the general idea that you're, or if you can, let me know.
I think I'm gonna try and get up to. Okay. Yeah, I managed to move.
Yeah, I don't think you can move all. I don't think you have enough movement to move past
I
them.
probably can't see any of the.
I will say that you can make an attack at disadvantage against the nearest one. Just because
Okay,
it's
I'll
kind
throw
of like
a.
you're leaning around to shoot kind of between your friends.
I'll throw a firebolt at disadvantage.
All right. These things are big and slow, so
10 at disadvantage.
a 10 is enough to hit these things. So what's the damage?
Oh. Hit the button, not the description, for 6 damage.
All right. Yeah. So Canthan and Axel find your elbows briefly heated by the passage of a firebolt between you.
Yeah, or kind of just.
Yeah. Strikes and scorches the nearest ochre jelly. Axel, it is your turn again.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Yeah, then I'll try another. I'll try another frostbite.
Okay.
It should be. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Yep, another frostbite on the same one.
Right. Who who of you has the highest passive perception? I think it's Canthan.
I've got a
Yeah.
15.
Okay,
Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's just a 14.
Okay.
Mine's an 11.
So frostbite again.
Yes. Just has to be the 13.
All right. Oh, sorry. I was thinking that was another one of your rolls again. So Constitution save. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah, it rolled low. It only got an 8.
Awesome. So then, let's do 3 points of cold.
Yeah.
And again,
Xenophon, disengage this round.
Otherwise, I'm going to get absorbed.
Right.
Yeah.
Although the three of you have been down there are kind of blocking the whole tunnel. I don't. Well, I don't think he can disengage and get past you on this turn.
Well, if Canthan steps forward, at least
Yeah.
Xenophon can't get behind Canthan.
Sure. But in any case, anything else for your turn, Axel?
I will, because I do realize that I am helping block this hallway. I will back up so
Okay.
that I can at least make a small space
Sure.
that can still move forward next round and try to time it again.
Sounds good. I don't know where. Oh, you ended up. Here, I'll move you. Just there we go. Just so because you can't stay on the same square as Dianakis.
Okay.
All right. So, Canthan, it is your turn. And I'll just go ahead and say, without you needing to make a check, that you notice this closest one to you,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
seems to have some sort of a necklace floating in it that's not dissolved.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Pressure.
Well then, I am going to, Sheesh. Yeah, I know what I'm going to do. I am going to, okay. I'm going to say, I'll distract it. You guys run past. And I'm going to step up and I'm going to activate as a bonus action my fighting spirit.
All right.
Gives me advantage on my attack.
Nice.
Not that I really need it, but well, anyways.
You kind of needed it. It looks like so. Even
Well,
with
the second roll was the one that was poor. But
Right.
anyways, 8 slashing damage.
So a 10 is still the only. I mean that hits, but I mean yeah. So like
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, 10 hits. 8 slashing damage.
And then I'm going to back away, intentionally provoking an attack of opportunity.
Okay.
Oh, I see. Very clever.
Which it has at disadvantage because of its the frostbite.
Right.
Oh, that's
Right.
very clever.
Look at that. So it does get a 15 to hit.
My armor class is 16.
All right, so it misses, but lucky you. Not that it would have, the first attack was still 15, but the other was a crit. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well then, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So it
Frostbite,
misses
yes.
as it tries to slap at you. You also notice it's pretty hurt by now too. So.
Yeah. So, anyways, I am kind of smushed up against the wall so that the other two can run past.
All right. That makes it Flounce, your turn.
All right, as much as I would love to continue wailing on this thing, because ow and grr and
Well, you can attack it on your way past, but
Yeah.
its attack of opportunity has been used up, so that one at least can't attack you as you run by.
yeah, yeah, I'm gonna stick it.
Okay.
Try and stick it with my longsword as I go by.
All right.
And that is a 17 to hit.
Definitely hits.
And That is a 13
Oh,
damage.
Maximum
13
damage.
damage. You slice this thing. A longsword does slashing damage, which let me just double check something. It's moot, but I wanted to remind myself of something. Um, oh, no, never mind. Also, this actually just occurs to me. Your halberd does slashing damage, can't then?
Uh,
Yeah, it does.
yeah, it does.
Um, I just double checked exactly how this works. It is immune to slashing damage.
Oh,
Okay,
So,
well, so maybe she would have seen that it was immune to
yeah.
my
So
attack.
I think it does not take the damage from.
Either of those two attacks.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, you could,
I will only undo the more recent one because otherwise it's just like
yeah.
we don't need to
yeah.
retcon everything. Um, but yeah,
Well, we
so I think
discovered that it's immune to slashing damage when
yeah,
I
like
attacked it.
yeah, so Canthan's halberd slices through, but it just like reforms as it passes.
Okay, that's
Okay.
annoying. All right, so in that case, I'll skip taking a poke at it and
Okay.
just run through.
Sure, you can end up right here, and that's as far as you can get without dashing. But if you dash because you didn't attack,
Yeah,
you can get all the
Yep.
way past into the next room if you want.
yeah. Let me do that.
All right, you can get down to here. Okay, Xenophon.
Okay, I'm going to disengage from this one here and then 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 get out of dodge
Mm-hmm.
because these things.
Everyone's moving into. Yeah, there we go. You can move right there.
Okay, I will
Yeah.
move right. I will move right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is does make it the Ochre Jelly's turn. This one that's closest to you, Canthan, is going to come up and try to hit you.
Okay,
It gets a 12.
that misses.
The other one is slurping up. It does a dash and it's trying to get through too, and it's kind of slurping up half onto the wall.
Right.
All right, Dianok, your turn.
Okay. Another firebolt at the one I can see.
Don't cook me.
Try not to.
Yeah.
That is a 17
A 17 will hit.
for 8 damage.
Okay.
And I'm gonna move back just 30 feet.
Okay.
I
Yeah, there you go.
okay. And that's my turn.
Okay. That makes it Axel's turn again.
Frostbite this thing again.
Let's see. Can I see around?
Yeah, I think you can see just the one from from where you are. I think you don't have line of sight on either, but if you moved up one square, you would.
There, yeah, I can just see
Yeah.
the one in front of our friend. So yeah, that'll be another frostbite.
Okay.
DC 13 con.
Whoops. I clicked the wrong thing there. Constitution. Okay. Wow. Yeah, they keep rolling low on those. So that's a 9.
Nice. Let's get some better damage. Okay, it's getting higher and higher each time.
Yeah.
4 points.
Yeah, and that one's looking pretty rough at this point. It doesn't have much
Oozing
left to it.
protoplasm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that I'll stay there.
Okay. All right, Canthan, it is your turn again.
All right. My polar master feat allows me to attack with the butt of the polearm as a bonus action when I take the attack action. Will you allow me to attack with it as an action?
Yes.
Okay.
If you want to just
So-
spin it around and deliberately
Yeah, I
attack
just
with
spin
that,
it around
yeah.
and whack it with the butt end.
Right, and so you of course use the damage die appropriate for that.
Yes,
that end,
yes,
but, yeah.
yes. Mm-hmm.
but that'll be bludgeoning, which will work.
That is a that is a 10.
10 hits.
So
And
7
believe it or
bludgeoning
not,
damage.
a 7 is exactly how many hit points it had.
Yes.
No!
Yeah, so I think what happens this time is that striking the blunt end of your halberd through its bulk, you manage to sort of split it in half in a big enough gap that it's not just able to just immediately reform back up, and you sort of split it into two pieces, and it just the two halves kind of just spunk and start to distribute out. One of them still has that sort of little necklace floating in it.
Okay. I still want to kind of kite it a little, so I am going to kite the other one a little.
Mm-hmm.
So because I want Xenophon to be able to get out of danger. So I'm going to move back, going to move past everybody, kind of squeeze past,
Mm-hmm.
and tell them, keep moving back. I'll take the brunt of its attack.
Okay. All right. So
Of the
Flounce,
remaining one.
that would be your turn next. I think as you've made your way down into this next room, you can see that it's a room that's got sort of a little bit of a makeshift library in there. There's some bookshelves with a lot of books on them, and like a table and some chairs and a lot of papers on that table. Obviously, you'll have more time to investigate that more thoroughly when we're not in combat.
Right. I'm going to move further into the room and plop myself down to wait for everybody else to catch up.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, Xenophon, your turn.
Hey, I am getting out of dodge. I'm going to move down the corridor.
Do you
away
have
from-
anything any attacks you can send at it before you leave?
Yes, actually, I could actually vicious mockery it actually because it doesn't need to understand me; it just has to be able to hear me. Ochre, so ochre jelly, your color is foul. You should be more of a turd. I'm now, so I will howl, and I just got to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. I think it's an interesting question whether or not it can hear, because what it has is blind sense, but the implication is that it's detecting vibrations, which sound would be. So
Yeah.
Sounds are vibrations.
yeah. So I'll
You just have to tap
I-
it in Morse code on the wall. That's
Or the vicious mockery could basically be hazardous vibration.
Or
Yeah.
stamping on the
It
ground.
rolls a
yes.
6 on the wisdom saving throw.
So it fails. So it gets disadvantage on its next attack, and it takes 4 points of psychic damage.
Nice.
And now I will move.
It wobbles timidly. All right.
Will you just pass this so that you can get a
Yeah,
get
20, 25, 30. Yeah.
All right. It is the ochre jelly's turn. It is going to go slurp, and then slurp, which gets it close enough to attack Axel, which it will do at disadvantage.
Yes.
Hold on, and it also, well, no, okay, yeah, I would be able to attack it, but there's no point because it's immune to my attack.
Yeah.
It got a 20. Oh no, excuse me. With disadvantage, it still gets an 18, but it's not a 21.
Just hits.
Okay.
Oh man.
So I'm
Almost
afraid
helped.
that's 9 bludgeoning damage and 4 acid damage for you there.
Dang, those things are
13.
nasty.
So 13 total, yeah.
Is Axel up?
Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
All right.
Oh,
Sort of.
good.
I mean, it's not great, but
No, it's not. It didn't feel great either.
Yeah.
If you don't want to take another attack, feel free to disengage on your action if you want.
Okay, so it is Dianoc's turn. Because you're kind of on separate map layers, what I'll just say right now is that you could try to attack it, but it would have 3/4 cover. Because you'd be
Okay.
firing past your friends.
Yeah, I'll just go. I'm going to go ahead and attack it.
Okay.
14.
A 14 is
Three
enough.
quarters
Yeah,
of
because
the
it has an AC of 8 plus 5 would be 13. So yeah.
6 fire damage.
All right. It's still coming, but you've burned it away pretty substantially. And these things are, too dumb to kind of make the judgment call. All right, so Exel, it is your turn.
Man,
There's room for you to disengage and back off if you want.
And not only that, it has disadvantage on its attack. So
No, just on its next one, so it doesn't have any.
Yeah, it
more.
already
Oh,
used
It
it.
okay.
used
Already
the
used it.
disadvantage
Yeah.
on the last one that it did.
Yeah, I will. Then I will definitely disengage and back into the room.
Okay.
Let's see.
Here, I'll move you down there.
okay,
But,
Okay.
and I'll use my full movement to get into the doorway, so that way, because it'll probably, I'm thinking it'll probably follow us, and then I can shoot at it when it gets through.
Okay. All right. Canthan, your turn.
if it is squeezing into a space that is smaller than it ordinarily could fit
Well,
then it's
but I mean, as an ooze, it can fit through a gap
Oh, okay.
of 1 inch.
right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I did this all wrong. I'm just realizing that it shouldn't have just been immune to the you know what? We will rule that this is an unusual ochre jelly that does not always behave according to the expected.
It should have divided it to
Yeah.
two. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm still. I can take a hit. All right, I'm gonna step up and whack it with the butt of my
Okay.
my 19,
definitely
19.
hits.
5 damage.
All right.
Um,
It's pretty hurt, but it's not quite down.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'll stand my ground.
All right. Flounce, it is your turn. Your friends are backing into the room with you, but they seem to be very much still in combat mode as opposed to.
Yes.
Well, see, the problem is that I don't have any distance attacks. The one distance attack that I had already used,
Yeah.
and I can't use it again.
I mean, these are fair observations. I was just giving you a little bit of a tease.
Yep.
Yeah,
But
just don't go
that's
smoking a cigarette or anything. That's just disrespectful.
No, I have done what I can do,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and if I can't cut it in two, then what else?
Mm-hmm. All right.
Hey,
So, anything else for your turn? though? You're just gonna sit.
Um,
You can check your notes.
You could keep you could keep watch on that other card there.
yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking is to
That's
see.
fair.
How long are you going to stay there, Canthan?
I'm hoping you guys will come up behind me and take
Well,
shots
we've got
past me at it.
a few more turns here. So, Flounce is watching the other cavern. Xenophon, it is your turn.
All right, I'm going to go back then. Because that's just the obvious. Okay, so I don't know where they. Okay, I'm going to go to here. I'm going to vicious mockery this thing again because why mess with a good thing?
Sure. It got a -1.
Wow.
So it takes disadvantage on its next attack, and it takes
See,
8 points
I-
of psychic damage.
Single-
But that
I didn't want
disadvantage
to-
is what you want.
Yeah, I didn't want to retreat unless it had disadvantage on the attack.
Okay.
Okay.
So
All right.
so move back again so that I can
Yeah, I'll move back. Yeah, okay. Right. 5, 10. Right. So I go back to here. 5, 10, 2. Right. Okay. So I'm there.
Okay. Now it is its turn, and it will attack you, Canthan, but it will do so at disadvantage. It gets a 9.
That's a miss.
Would have had a 17.
There, see?
See? Keep the bard.
Yeah.
Okay. Dianok, your turn.
Okay, Dianok is gonna step to within sight line and then fire.
I'll let it have only half cover if you move up to just below where Canthan is.
Yeah, that'll work. My That is 13.
13 hits.
9 damage.
It sizzles and bubbles and boils away into nothing.
All right.
It's also
Okay.
messing
Yay!
with the order.
Don't mess.
All
Yeah.
right. I'm gonna go use the tip of my halberd to fish out that necklace I saw.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do so, and it is a necklace. Let me see if I can find a more specific um, visual description. Um, it is on a chain. Where's how about show me this here we go. Yeah, so it's on a gold chain, but then has a strange little sort of metal pendant hanging off of it that looks like a metal arm grasping a ring, which in turn is around a heart-shaped gem of some kind.
Hey, hey, you magic-y folks, is this thing magical? I'll
Oh,
hold it
let,
back
let
for
me.
Dianoc to look at.
Yeah. I can.
I'm gonna
Give
move
me
everyone into
time.
this safe room just
Yeah,
to.
I'm gonna wipe off the goo and then lay it down on the table for Dianoc to look at.
Uh, well, since it was floating in the acid and doesn't seem damaged, I'm going to assume it's magical, and and cast identify on it
Okay,
ritually.
sure. So that's going to take 10 minutes. What is everyone else doing in the meantime?
Looking about. I'm also curious about the papers Flounce had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at those notes we found.
Yeah.
Sure.
We're going to work with Flounce on that.
Okay. So what you find in reviewing those notes is that this person who was working in there seems to be some kind of a cultist who is researching ways to corrupt the magic of the Night of the Remembrance, which is, you would have been told, and everyone else kind of learned too here, is a local sort of holiday of sorts where they are able to magically commune with the spirits of their ancestors, and it's a holiday all about remembering their departed loved ones and getting to sort of magically spend a little bit of extra time with them, and so and that is in fact like everything's ramping up to the big day right now. But this person researching this has some notes talking about uh, someone named Serapio that is apparently uh, has been told that this cultist is to find a cure for them, but they don't actually have to. So, like, what the apparently this cultist had an agreement with someone else that
Mm-hmm.
Serapio thinks you are working on a cure for them, but don't worry about it. But this cultist has been using ghouls to kill animals, hunters, prospectors, and others wandering the borderlands so that the cultist could study and raise the dead using profane knowledge that she gleans from unholy rites.
Hmm.
And that's what you learn from their notes.
Um,
And I'll go ahead and probably share then that everyone else shares with you the other things that you had already found here in this little area, which is that there's a lot of these drawings that were found in this area with a sketch depicting an elegantly dressed tiefling, whom the others can tell you is someone that they met outside named Eatsman.
okay.
Um, and then numerous cityscapes that show a distinctive neighborhood in the part of San Citlan known as Los Gavilanes. And then some of them seem to be about a specific building with the caption "Home" in it. And they also found a half of a hinged silver locket wrapped in paper that has a tiny pencil portrait of a warmly smiling woman.
Hmm.
And also here in this room, besides the bookshelves, which have a variety of different books on them, the walls are just raked up and down with what looks like enormous talons have been just scratching at the walls.
All right.
Fun.
So, in case the players didn't pick up on it, that Itzman name is that's
Yeah.
who your contact
Mhm.
told you was the guy they were talking about.
Hmm.
Yeah. Do we want to take a short rest and spend some hit dice?
I do have a couple of healing spells also.
Yeah, save those for emergencies, and
Okay.
the rest we can use hit
Yeah.
dice.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Short
That'll
rest it
let me
is.
get some of my stuff back. Um,
So as you're resting, and Dianak, you would finish your ritual, and the necklace is a periapt of health. You are immune to contracting any disease when you wear this pendant. If you are
Wow.
already infected with a disease, the effects of the disease are suppressed while you wear it. It does not require attunement.
Very nice.
Yeah.
See, we know that lesser restoration is a spell uh, that can cure the Serrano in one person.
Yes, if they are in direct sunlight when you cast it.
Yeah. So, can Xenophon cast lesser restoration?
Yes, you can.
So I say let's get the periapt of health to Xenophon. Because he's the one that can, he's the one that can help others the most.
Okay.
So
I will take that
I'm
then.
showing to players this handout for a periapt of health. Everyone can see this
Nice.
this image.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so taking a short rest.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And I need to look into getting some long distance something or another.
Enoch is looking much better. Up to 19 instead of 3 hit points.
Wow.
Yeah, the wizard was hurt.
Hmm.
Oh, and Christiana,
Mhm.
the spell book that I found
Mhm.
last time, what spells were in it? I know one was Find
So you
Familiar.
found a spell scroll of lesser restoration,
Okay.
and you found a book with rituals for alarm, find familiar, and illusory script.
Okay. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I had those down.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Jason, those are some terrible hit dice.
Yeah, I was trying not to use all of them, but I might have to. Like,
Yeah.
ah.
So for those listening just in audio, he rolled a 1 on both of 2 hit dice.
Yeah.
Third one's okay.
Okay, that's okay. That's a little better.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh, yeah, I used up the rest of my hit dice because it's
Mm-hmm. So the only other thing that's of note as you're hanging out here is that the wind, there is still air movement through these tunnels, which suggests that there is, you're not entirely, like, the entrance is sealed, but there must be some other place that allows air to move through.
Mhm.
And it does seem to have almost a character, almost like a howling sound in it.
So there is another way out of this place for sure. It may not be large enough for a person, but there's another way out.
yeah.
But the question is, why did they seal us in?
Um, the gouges in the wall, does that look like it's made by like like the claws of a beast, or is it just
Definitely the
decorative?
Yeah.
beast.
But something pretty big,
Yeah.
Yeah,
size of a
yeah,
person or bigger.
yeah. So this is, I think, what's howling.
Enoch will point to the drawing of the with the tiefling and say, I think this tiefling has something to do with it. We knew it was named Itzman, wasn't it?
Yeah, he introduced himself. It was the guy you met up in the town before you went in the mine.
Tiefling, Itzman.
Yeah.
has something
So
to
the
do.
fact that, because what he told you was, I am being a good local politician by burning an abandoned town known to be a source of a contagious disease. And so to find a drawing of him down past the undead cultists' laboratory,
Mm-hmm.
pretty sus.
Yeah.
Yeah, very sus.
Yeah.
And not to put too fine a point on it, we met with the guy that the people at the Radiant Citadel asked us to. And he's also got a politician that's acting very sus. So I think this is just a thing that's
Well,
A,
it's,
co- a
it's
co- common
literally
trait
the
of
same
politicians.
name. It's the same name.
it's the same guy.
Yeah, it's the same guy.
Oh,
Or at
Yeah.
the least, there might be. It's theoretically possible that you could have two members of the Tresena that are both named Itzman and both sus. But,
Yeah.
Not likely.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, look,
But the other
I'm not
piece-
that Eatsman. I'm the nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we
You must
did
be
My
talking
naughty
about my
sister
evil
Dingo.
twin, who has the same name, because that's how twins work, I guess.
I mean, there was we did run into twins already.
Yeah. Anyway, so just one other piece that the others would probably share with Flounce and Xenophon is that you met this woman Paloma, who's sort of a Robin Hood style outlaw, who is nonetheless afflicted by this curse presently, and says that there is a strange owl-like fiend creature that seems to be what's spreading this curse.
Yes.
Oh, great. So
Doesn't-
the owl-like creature is being housed in the basement of an abandoned forge.
remember
And-
when we were held behind? We talked with someone from here was talking about an abandoned forge and seeing someone dressed well who was doing something in there and heard screeching noises like an owl,
But very, very big.
but very very big. Is
Well,
I see this threads are coming together. It is a weave that we must weather.
Yeah.
hmm.
All right.
Let's go.
I think we'll be giving that tiefling another visit.
Hmm?
Well,
If you can
first,
avoid being buried alive, yeah.
If that's details, GM. Just details.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to presume.
yeah, first, yeah.
All right. So, what happens is as you make your way further down that tunnel is that it does slope pretty steeply down and curves around a little bit again, and then it's going to come out right here on this lower map. So I'll just go ahead and move y'all down there.
Okay.
Boy, I'm sure it's not coming through on the mic, but what I can hear here is that it's either some sort of a piece of construction equipment, or maybe someone's got some sort of a music that I'm only hearing just the bass of, but it's just doom 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 doom.
Wow. That's
Yeah, I don't
that's
know.
fun.
But in any case, so what happens as you reach this cavern here is This sizable cavern's ceiling is 30 feet high, and strange symbols are scrawled across its walls. The skeletons of two huge creatures are here, one embedded in the east wall, and the other coiled around an altar covered in filthy feathers.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just getting out of the way to let everybody else get in.
And
And this big square thing
Do-
it seems to be the base.
does the writing on the wall?
Just a moment. The this square thing seems to be the base of where the elevator would sit if it went all the way
Right.
down. And then, of course, there's a tunnel that goes off to the west. So, sorry, go ahead, David.
Does the writing on the wall appear to be a language?
It does. Would anyone
Perhaps Infernal, which DNR.
Alas, does not seem to be infernal. You suspect it may be, in fact, abyssal.
Wait a minute. Do I have that as a language? Let me see. Maybe not.
I have it.
Common
You
Draconic
speak
Elvish.
abyssal?
I do. I do.
Uh-huh.
I actually speak a bevy of languages. Surprisingly, I speak.
Oh, sure.
I speak 6 languages actually.
These
Silly me here learning Dwarvish.
Yeah. These symbols are still pretty sort of messy and chaotic, even when you can read the language. But
Yeah.
please go ahead and make an Arcana or Religion check to kind of try to read them and make sense of them.
Is that something that DNR could assist, even if they don't know the language?
Yeah, I think Exel still has to make the check, but can make it with advantage.
Okay. You guys see Exel kind of looking at the writing, and he's kind of mumbling into himself, but it's not of like, this means this. It's actually, these words look familiar. You showed me something, and it's here and there, almost as if he's talking to someone about what he's reading.
Okay, that first one's not a great roll.
Oh gosh, man, it is. It's not my evening.
Wow. Okay.
Oh boy.
You rolled a 4 and a 6, which I'm afraid does not allow you to make much sense of all these symbols. It is abyssal, you're sure of that, but as is sometimes typical with abyssal scrawls, the person could use some handwriting lessons and perhaps just some sort of an organizational system. You do get the impression the one symbol that you are able to read and seems to be repeated a number of times, enough that it seems important. Kind of the central theme is what you believe to be a name, which is Pazuzu.
Pazuzu.
Anyone can make a religion check for that.
I will try that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
No, our bard doesn't know diddly about Pazuzu.
Same here.
23.
23 will do it.
There we go.
Pazuzu is a very powerful demon.
Oh,
How fun.
that's a demon.
Yeah.
Very powerful. Probably
Yeah.
something we don't want to tingle with.
Yeah.
we can-
So, yeah. I think I don't mean to interrupt, but just like I happen to be looking at the map and where you've all got your tokens and so on, and it seems as though Flounce has approached within 10 feet of that altar. Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Looks that way.
The enormous skeletons begin to rattle and rise up off the ground, animating, and we're rolling initiative.
Oh, great. So bones.
And as you can kind of tell probably from this image on the map, they are in fact dinosaur skeletons.
Oh
That-
boy.
Now the actual token is just like the token is just a dinosaur, but it should be understood these are dinosaur skeletons.
No bones about it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I wish I hadn't have wasted the natural 20 on the first initiative check.
Oh, your rolling has
Oof.
been terrible, Jace.
Ugh, just, goodness.
Yeah. I don't have good lucks with you and D&D games and dinosaurs with my characters, Christiana.
So
The fact that that's now a theme is
has
just
has
Next-
everybody got their
yeah.
new initiative rolled?
Next character, make up
Yep.
a cavalier who rides once.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, the good news for all of you then is that the dinosaurs go first.
Oh, that's good news.
Okay.
Yay!
know.
How many initiative put in?
Yeah. Hmm. What?
Yay.
I didn't hear you, David. What?
I got my initiative in.
Okay.
It was being slow.
All right. What is your dexterity, Dina?
Dexterity is a 16.
Flounce?
0.
All right. Dina goes first. Of the two of you.
Yep.
Okay, but first these dinosaur skeletons. Let's see.
Oh no.
Yeah. I think. What is their speed? Oh yeah, they're fast. I think that this one actually seems to like circle around and then jumps and comes over here and actually is jumping to pounce on you, Canthan.
Oh,
Wow. Okay.
God.
So it's
Uh,
making a claw attack.
Now, before that happens,
Okay.
one of my polearm master allows me to take an opportunity attack when something enters my reach.
You are correct. You may do so.
So I stick out the point of my halberd, and I got a
24.
24 to hit for 7
Nice.
damage.
All right. Good. Yeah, that works. It does still attack you.
Yes.
It attacks you with a claw. Gets only a 15 to hit.
That does not hit.
Okay.
Rakes across my armor.
All right. So it is, it did that, but this other one is gonna just run up and attack Flounce. Gonna just try to lean down and bite you on the head.
Yeah. Nibble. Just take a little nibble.
Gets a 21 to hit.
Always,
That hits.
always, yes.
Yeah. So that's gonna be 10 piercing damage.
You're a bunny.
Okay.
You always bite the head first.
No.
Yep. Unfortunately, I am not, in fact, hollow.
Okay. Axel, it is your turn.
Let's see. I will. Let's see. The first one, I will. Since it is closest to me, I will use Chill Touch.
Okay. That's to hit. Yeah. 13 just hits.
Whew. So that means.
These things are big, but not slow like the oozes.
So that is
7 necrotic.
yes, and since they are skeletons, it has disadvantage on its next attack roll against me until the end of my next turn.
Okay.
If they should attack you.
If they should attack me, yes.
Okay. Great. Are you moving or anything?
No, I'll stay right here.
Okay. Dianok.
Okay. Dianok, is going to go ahead and throw fire at this because why not?
Sure.
Bones burn too.
22,
Which one were you attacking? 22.
the
certainly
one
hits.
closest.
Okay. 22 hits.
And so that is 9 damage.
All right. Yep. You scorch some of the rib bones, sending a couple of them crumbling. I suddenly the
And I'm
I
gonna
was
move
you know, big bones also
over
burn.
to
Okay. Flounce, your turn.
Okay. So, this is sizist. She's just shaking her finger at it. So let me even the odds. She stabs her halberd into the ground and activates Giant's Might.
Right, and you become large, right?
Yep, I become large.
A very
Well,
large, fluffy person.
yes, very large, the exponentially fluffy.
Mhm.
And then she pulls her glaive out of the ground, which is now actually appropriately sized for her, and it takes a whack
All right.
at this thing. Now that she is no longer nibblicious.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the
Um,
dinosaur, it's undead, so like it probably doesn't think a whole lot anyway. But it might just be thinking, "Oh, great, my dinner's even bigger than I thought." 14 does hit though.
it does hit. All
It
right,
does.
awesome. And that is. Oh no! Wait a minute. Hold on. I have great weapon master. I can with two-handed weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I can re-roll a 1.
Okay. It looks like
Uh,
that 8 wasn't a 1 though, right? Or was it?
uh, let's
She
see.
rolled 2 dice and one of them was a 1.
Oh. Why
Yeah.
why is it rolling 2 dice? Shouldn't it be just like a? It looks like it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know
Oh,
what
okay.
happened with that. I'm
Oh,
going
so
to.
I think it's got an so like the little formula that's showing in there looks complicated because it's automatically doing the thing where
Oh,
It
okay.
re-rolls.
yeah.
Okay. All right, then that's 8 slashing damage.
All right. Yeah. You you knock out a few of its teeth and leave a big like scar scrape across its skull. Okay, Xenophon.
Hey, Xenophon's going to move to here. He's going to cast vicious mockery on this dinosaur.
All right.
Wisdom saving throw. Your bones are from long ago. You should just go back there and go.
All right. It got a 3 on the wisdom saving throw.
Okay, so it gets disadvantage on its next attack and takes a whopping 1 point of damage. And although he didn't use it last time, you need to remember to use my bardic inspiration. I'm going to give another bardic inspiration to Canthan. Use it because the last one expired.
Well, I mean, I had no need of it, but okay. Because I hit on my attacks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and so
All right.
that is my turn.
Okay, it is your turn, Canthan.
All right. I am going to take a whack at it with my halberd.
All right.
That is an 8. I will
But
use that bardic inspiration. What kind is it? D6?
A D6, yeah.
2, it makes it a 10. Okay.
unfortunately, still not enough.
I will take a bonus action to whack it with the butt of my halberd, and another 8.
Oh no!
All right.
Yeah.
Nuts.
This thing is pretty agile for being bones.
Yeah. Dancing around there. All right. Well, that is my turn.
You get the feeling that it would hiss at you angrily if it had vocal cords still. It clacks and clatters at you. All right, it is the dinosaur's turn again. And this one that's by you is going to try to bite Xenophon, or Canthan rather, but it does get it. So it gets an 18, but it would have gotten a crit, so lucky you.
Okay.
That's going to be
that hits.
10 piercing damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 of that comes off of the temporary hit points I had from the last spot.
Could have been 23, so be thankful.
Mhm, mhm.
All right. The other one is going to attack you, Flounce. Gets a 9.
Its bite got
Does
lost
not
in the
hit.
fluff.
It's trying to figure out like where it can get its jaws around you.
No rabbit for dinner.
All right, Axel, it's your turn.
For the one closest to me, I will use Mind Sliver. It needs to make a intelligence saving throw, DC 13.
Okay. Oops, I just I rolled initiative again instead of intelligence save, which isn't the right thing. It's different. Gets a 1.
Alrighty, so that means it will also take a D6 psychic damage, but also have a -4 or -1d4 on its next saving throw.
Okay. 2
So that
damage.
is 2 points of psychic damage, and
All
then
right, I'll put a little blue dot on it to remind us about the D4.
and that is a 2 -2 on its next saving throw.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
That'll be it.
Oh, I heard a little noise and it was Rocket dream woofing at something.
Oh.
I'd point the microphone down there, but it would almost certainly wake him up. All right, Dianok, your turn.
Okay, Dianok is going to throw some acid at the one Harry encamped in.
Okay.
So that's a dex save.
Okay.
And that uses up the next save thing.
Yeah, so it got a 20, which would be 18 instead with the
Okay.
so I guess that probably still saves.
Okay. Don't have anything else I can do, and
All right.
you know what? Gonna back up by 1 to hopefully be even more out of fighting range.
Need Sean Connery there to say, "You call this paleontology?" Flounce, your turn.
All right. All right. Well, the glaive worked really good last time, so let me hit it again. And that is a dirty 20 to hit.
Hits.
And that is 9 slashing damage, but I forgot last time that part of Giant Smite is on each of your turns, one of your attacks with a weapon can deal an extra 1d6 damage. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Go ahead and roll that for this time and the last time.
All right. So this time is an additional 6 points, and last time was an additional 4 points.
Nice. So yeah, this thing's looking pretty hurt now. Like magic is still sort of holding it together, but you're sort of chopping chunks of its bones away, and it doesn't seem like it can sustain that for very much longer. All right, Xenophon.
All right, I'm going to vicious mockery this one again. You may be able to dodge weapons and acid, but you can't dodge my puns, you bastard. Wisdom saving throw.
All right, 14.
That succeeds. So
well.
my puns and words fall on deaf ears, literally. Whoops.
On dead ears.
Yeah, it clacks its jaws at you that if you spoke undead dinosaur would be to the effect of, "So what if my parents aren't married? They love me and they're proud of me."
That's what we get for shaming relationships. Funny to do better.
Anyway. Anything else for you, Xenophon?
No, I'm going to remain exactly where I am.
All right.
Do you have any more of those bardic inspirations?
I have one more. I'll give it to you if you want it.
Well.
All right. I give you one more. I give you my last inspiration.
Okay.
Go forth and do it if you can.
All right. So I will take a swing with my halberd.
Can.
And I got a 10. I'm going to roll that bardic inspiration. Got 5. Got a 15.
This time it was enough. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yay.
there's 9 slashing.
Justify my existence.
9 slashing damage, and then try and whack it with the butt.
All right.
18 for 5
18
bludgeoning
hits.
damage.
Well, and you also discover bludgeoning is super effective. Does double damage.
Okay, so grand
So
total
that
of
one's
19
pretty
damage.
hurt now too.
Yeah.
You just discover that the butt of your halberd just really splinters it, and it's suddenly staggering around on one awkward leg.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
that is my turn.
But it is their turn again, and this one I think is actually going to back up a little bit, so you can make an opportunity attack if you like.
I will do that. That's a
Okay.
16 for 6 slashing damage.
All right, you do succeed in hitting it with that, but it does once again try to pounce on you, and you
Okay.
don't have another opportunity.
And I don't
attack
have
'cause you
another
defeated
reflex
it.
action,
Right.
so yeah.
So this time it's trying a claw attack on you. It gets a 12, so that's probably not going to do it.
Yep.
This one over here is trying to circle around you, Flounce, but it's still just going to try to bite you.
Okay.
It gets a 14.
Does not hit.
All right. Axel, you're up.
I don't have so many uses of that. So I will mind sliver it again. Or not the one, but the one fighting Flounce. I will
Okay.
mind sliver that one.
All right. Intelligence save, is that right?
Yep.
Okay. Bloop. 13.
That beats it.
Ah.
So if I'm not mistaken, I think that's. I don't think anything happens if it moves. If it makes a
This is a cantrip?
Yep.
Yeah, it won't do anything. Okay.
Yep. That's my turn.
Dianoc.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and throw fire at the one by Flounce.
Okay.
16.
That'll hit.
9 damage.
Nice. That one's looking pretty messed up now. It's got smoke coming out of the eye holes of its skull. It's all scorched and broken. Okay,
As-
Flounce.
As it heads towards death again.
All right. This is an 18 to hit
Hits.
with the glaive.
Mhm.
For 10 slashing damage
Yeah.
and an additional 3.
Yeah, you smash it to pieces and it scatters across the floor and against the wall. That one has been returned to the dead state that it deserves.
Okay, action surge.
All right.
I'm going to run across and hit this one with the glaive this time.
Nice.
Angry bunny strike.
And that is 15 to hit.
Hits.
All right. And that is, is re-rolling it, and nope, it needs to re-roll. Well, I think I have to accept the second one.
Yeah.
So that's 4.
Yeah. So 4 is not enough to finish it off, but you certainly damage it again.
Mm-hmm.
It's looking really weak, but it's still got its turn this time.
Yeah.
Xenophon.
Your companion is gone. Return to dust. Soon you will join him. Take my puns as you must. And let's vicious mockery it again.
All right. Wisdom save. 15.
Okay, it succeeded and ignores my declamations.
Yeah. All right, Kenthan.
All right. Swing that halberd.
Do-si-do.
Critical! Big
So,
weapon does it.
how does Kenthan slay the undead dinosaur skeleton?
It with Flounce acting as a distraction. She lines it up perfectly, and Canthan goes in, rolls underneath it, and then comes up with an upward an uppercut motion and severs its sternum, causing all the bones to scatter around him like confetti.
Yeah.
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 You did it. And with with the dinosaur skeletons dispatched, the mine is not quiet here because of this the wind and wailing that continues to howl through here, leading down through that tunnel to the west. But there does not seem to be anything else moving here in this cavern.
I wonder if there is something at that altar that you were heading towards, Flounce.
Yeah, Dianoc would like to see as well.
Mm-hmm.
Come join me. Let's find out.
While you guys do that, I am going to keep an eye on this other passageway and make sure nothing comes out of this.
And Christiana, what's the big, like the wooden square thing that Flounce is next to? Is that like a table?
That is where the elevator would sit if it came down.
Okay.
So it seems to be the bottom, meaning it wouldn't go down any further than this.
Okay.
So the I think what I'll say is there's not really anything else to find at the altar, but what I'll allow is if you all decide to spend a little time on working on the translation, you could potentially get a little bit more. I'll let you try to make another check for the understanding the demonic scrawls if you take some time to do it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to see if I could take another shot at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Dianoc would help with that as well.
Sure. So, with the understanding that you're taking like some time to do it, like even as I'll let you go ahead and make that same check again with advantage, Arcana or Religion.
Yeah. And while he's studying, Flounce shrinks back to normal sized.
How often can you do that, Flounce?
I can do that twice per long rest.
Okay.
And it only lasts for a minute.
But
So,
a crucial minute.
I try to make sure they count.
Okay,
Indeed.
there we go.
Yeah, 17. Yep.
17's better. Yeah. So now that you've taken a little bit more time with it and studied it with the help of your allies here, you determined that a big intent of the overall goal of these rituals is to spread corruption throughout the region for Pazuzu's benefit, but that what is happening specifically is that an innocent creature is being twisted into an envoy of Pazuzu so as to spread this corruption.
Oh.
Okay.
There's some.
So, the
So
owl.
are the carvings and stuff in this room helping to power that?
It seems as though there's this is the place those rites are done, but they're not currently active or anything. It's so you don't think doing anything to this place would end that from happening, but this seems to be where they started it happening.
Okay.
Okay.
Because would be happy to take, see if can wipe away some of the corrupting influence with some acid, if that would help.
Well, so you feel free to do as you like to all of these awful things that have been done in this place. You don't think it will have any effect elsewhere, but you can certainly make this place nicer.
Yeah, gonna basically have a Xenophon's or everybody stand back from the altar and just kind of give it a good acid bath.
A spring cleaning, I believe is the phrase.
Prestidigitation is not enough.
Yeah. So Canthan and Flounce, as you're kind of looking down this other tunnel to the west, you're seeing that there are more scrolls that kind of seem to cover some of the walls, at least nearby, and then kind of get a little bit more sparse as the tunnel continues. The breeze is, I said the other way around, but the breeze is actually coming from that direction.
Mm-hmm.
But it carries a faint scent of smoke, and you see some foul-looking feathers on the floor, as well as gouge marks on the stone walls from time to time.
I think we're getting close to that owl demon.
Indeed.
Well, the if there was an innocent creature being corrupted, how likely do you think it is that the owl is actually innocent?
Well, um,
And can that corruption be reversed?
Yeah, I'd be very interested to see that.
And they did tell us that it was the infection rate was lesser at night than it was, or it is more at night than it is during the day. And owls are nocturnal.
Would make sense.
And since
Wow.
they hunt at night, it would make, if this owl passed over the town or over an area, it might be hard to see.
Well, the method of how it spreads the curse might be not so much physical location, but projecting the power.
well, let's see. You know,
Yeah.
let's the only
Let's
thing
go
we can
find
do is
out.
look. But yeah, if we can see a way to reverse the corruption rather than slaying it, sure. But we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So you make your way in that direction through that tunnel.
Yep.
All right.
Making our way downtown.
What you find pretty quickly is that this seems to be a much longer tunnel. It is, it is braced periodically. You're not going up or down anymore. You're going pretty level and pretty straight. If someone would like to make a survival check, please do so.
I will.
Haley, I think it's you. I'm getting some like swallowing or maybe slightly liquid noises coming from you.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Cough drop.
Oh, sure.
I'll mute it.
I will make a survival check.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. 4. I am not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. It's all of the sort of curving tunnels coming on the way down here have got you a little bit disoriented. So you're not 100% sure what direction it's heading, but it does seem to be heading. It's going in a straight line. Like this is
Yeah.
not a natural cavern. Someone has dug this tunnel.
Yeah. And I'll relay that and I'll say, my expertise is not in stonework, so I cannot say what direction we're going, but this was done on purpose. This was not the initial, doesn't seem to be the initial place where the mine would have been trying to go.
How can you tell that? I mean, mines go where the ore is.
Well, but there's no evidence of any
Oh,
kind of digging. And when I say long, I mean like it's going on and on and on and on and on in a straight line
Huh.
with no other evidence of anything.
Oh,
happening.
so they're not like wandering to follow. This is just an access tunnel. Okay.
It would seem to be.
I think I have an idea where it's headed.
Well, I will put us back on the regional map here. So that you can discuss that as you like, but like to illustrate the point, you will be in this tunnel for hours. Why
Okay.
is it so far over to the side? Sorry, hang on. This is like does not want to allow me to have it be. Hang on. Sorry, I can briefly. There we go.
It's
There we go.
well, my guess, at least, is that we're heading into San Citlon, particularly to that forge you mentioned.
There are not a lot of other places that seem obvious anyway.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I mean, it's pretty hard to tell which direction we're going underground.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Perhaps there is uh, Eatsman knew that people had seen the creature in the area of Hollow and realized that the mine is no longer a reliable place for it to emerge,
Mhm. Yeah.
and is changing plans, changing tactics.
Mhm. So yeah, let me be clear that you have already traveled a couple of miles through this tunnel, and it's still going.
Oh yeah,
In for a penny.
Hmm.
I
Well,
do have to
We're-
say,
the only other way out was sealed, so you might as
Yeah,
well.
Yeah,
this is-
so
this
we,
is-
we keep on going, right?
Mhm.
I do have to say, it is much more comfortable walking through this tunnel than under the heat of the desert sun.
Yeah. Those of you who are using torches, please go ahead and mark off another torch, just because you would have eventually used
Right.
them.
Yeah, can
So-
do that. I really need like a light spell or something in my life. I don't have one.
Yeah.
I didn't take that as a cantrip, and now I
Mhm.
regret it.
Well,
I've
perhaps
still got 5 left, so I'm good.
perhaps as you grow in power, you can find one.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. And worst comes to worst, you can use mine. My my rune is helping me out.
All right. So you've been traveling for a while now. You've traveled for several miles. Hard to know exactly how far, but eventually you start smelling that like hint of smoke. Is a bit stronger, but it simultaneously the air is getting a little bit like fresher. And you eventually find yourself emerging into the bottom of a dry cenote, which is kind of like a sinkhole, if people are not familiar.
Mm-hmm.
But so as you emerge from the bottom there, you see that there is a scaffolding that goes up approximately 100 feet to the surface, and that there seem to be um, people living on this scaffolding. They seem to be perhaps people who have nowhere else to go, just based on rapid assessment. And you can see just out the hole from the bottom. You can see just a little bit of like the wall of a building, and the some of the people who are nearest to the bottom of this on the scaffolding, seeing you coming out of this tunnel, seem a little bit like wary of you coming out of the tunnel, but they don't say anything or approach.
Oh. And does it look like it's uh, late in the day or in?
It looks well. It's a little hard to tell from the bottom of a 100-foot sinkhole, but
Yep.
there does seem to be daylight at least.
Okay.
Perhaps getting towards
Towards
the end of the
dusk.
day. Yeah.
Okay.
We
Ah,
should see if we can find someone in charge.
Yep. I will head forward towards the scaffolding, taking the lead, holding my hands out because they clearly must be starbucks coming out of a shaft going miles into the earth. Greetings. Can you tell us where we are?
The they look wary of you and just kind of like shake their head and are just kind of like sitting back, like kind of
this-
consciously trying to mind their own business.
is this San Citlon?
There's one of them. This is it's a little it's a half orc kid. Nods, but also is still looking at you like you're not to be trusted.
May we pass freely to the surface without we've walked a long way. We don't mean any harm.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check, Xenophobe.
Okay, let's see what kind of bard can do. A bard can get an 18.
Okay. The kindness in your voice finally seems to soothe some of the initial wariness, and the kid just says, "Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is San Citlan. I mean, I'm not in charge, so like, you can go. It's fine."
Can you tell us who's in charge?
I mean, it's a city. There's
No.
probably a bunch of people.
Well, in this area, I was thinking more like.
Well, we just live here.
Hey, this is weird.
No, I was expecting like some sort of district leader or some sort.
Well,
let's-
perhaps we're-
Well,
this-
let's get to the surface
Let's
first. Things
climb
first.
out.
Yeah, let's climb out and see take stock of things.
my guess is that this is not necessarily an organized part of the city.
Well,
Yes, Christiana, does it look more like a kind of like a shanty town almost?
Yes, very much.
Oh,
So.
okay. Okay,
This-
now I
this-
get it.
Yeah, this is a sinkhole somewhere that people who have nowhere else to go are squatting in, essentially.
Any shelter you can find.
Hmm. The kid, as you're starting to go by, says, "Are you chasing the owl?"
I'll turn and say, yes, we are. Do you know where it went?
Well, I mean, he just points up. I sometimes see a strange spotted owl flying in and out of that tunnel at night.
Hmm.
Thank you.
That's the only other thing I've ever seen come out of that tunnel before.
Is
There are
it-
nastier things down there. Luckily, they don't come out here.
well,
Be
luckily,
safe.
I'm fairly certain everything that might come out has been disposed of.
Yeah. Well.
At least that we saw.
Yes, that was.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring the party away from these innocent people
Mm.
and speak quietly. All right. So that altar in the cave was where the ritual is done on this owl. I was not expecting an actual owl. I was expecting an owl monster. So
It might be some form of transformation.
right, but
Remember,
if it-
Paloma did describe a large creature, a fiend.
yeah. Well, maybe it can transform into a regular owl.
Do we want to stake out this area and wait for it and try to ambush it?
Yeah, that's the one thing I was thinking. Or going back and because like that altar, maybe that well they dynamited the entrance out there, so anybody who's going to get there is going to come through this way.
Right.
And
So
I believe I made it, well, harder for any new rituals to be cast. Or, yeah, I removed most of the markings, if not all of them.
It was a well thing that you did.
yeah. But yeah, maybe staking out this entrance is a good idea. I don't know.
I'll look at Flounce and Exel for their input since they've been quiet.
And they continue to be.
I'm just thinking there might be a second entrance.
That we didn't know
mean-
about a secret entrance, possibly, yes.
Or maybe there's another area, seeing as I don't think they would have destroyed the entrance if they had intended to continue using it. Because as far as we walked, that's a very long way to do what they need to do. They would need quicker access than that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I just realized we left the chest with all of that money way back there.
Well, perhaps we can let some. Perhaps we can let what was her name? Paloma?
Mm-hmm.
The uh, outlaw, the Robin Hood type.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Let Perhaps we can let Paloma know that it's in there and she can recover it and use it for some good deeds.
If she can get past the blown up entrance.
Well, if this entrance is uh, still viable,
Yeah.
it's just a lot of walking, and once she's cured, I'm pretty sure she would have no problem walking.
So, just so I'm clear, you're having all of this conversation still at the bottom of this sinkhole?
We've moved away from the people.
Sure.
The-
Okay.
yeah.
But
Yes,
you,
we-
you're
we haven't
still at
left
the
yet.
bottom of the sinkhole. You have not seen anything else.
Correct.
Right.
All right.
But I
I
think
think
we,
before we do anything, we need to at least see what's at the top of the sinkhole, because that could change drastically what we need to do.
Yeah, let's go to see what's at the top.
All right, let's climb up.
All right. As you start climbing the scaffolding, as you get higher and higher, the more and more you hear that there seems to be a lot of activity up at the surface. And in fact, um, as you emerge, you can see that there's the top of this sinkhole looks like it's sort of been like fenced off in kind of a half-assed way, but that you are at one end of an alley and can see through that alley onto the street that colorful flowers and paper decorations hang between buildings, and delicious scents waft from the food stalls at every street corner. Locals wearing elaborate masks and costumes celebrate in the streets. Well-dressed skeletons walk alongside pompous-looking business barons, and mischievous children in devil costumes poke at onlookers with toy tridents. And I'm sharing a handout with you called Night of the Remembered.
Mhm.
It's quite the street scene.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
For people listening to the podcast, this is an amazing
Mhm.
mural picture of people in this all sorts of costumes. There's skeletons.
Mhm.
It looks like the best Day of the Dead riff I've ever seen in my life. It's got Mesoamerican influences. It's a beautiful piece of art.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Really
like
well
the ghosts. The ghosts
Mhm.
and it's not just the skeletons, it's not just the people, and they've also got some ghosts joining the party and hanging out and playing music and stuff. It's awesome.
And you certainly were briefed by um, the shield bearers that this was the local holiday that was kind of in the swing, and it's kind of what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you can be briefed on something, but seeing it in person
Yeah.
is
So to be sure, this is a very active and busy time to be here in San Citlan.
yeah. And honestly, yeah, wouldn't want anything to happen here if it didn't have to. We can help it.
No, we don't want this celebration ruined by
Yeah. So
demonic influence.
anyone who would like to can make a history or religion check to just know a little bit more about the traditions and such here.
I will give that a shot.
I'll try
I know history.
Mhm.
Maybe not.
How about
I am still new to the whole area of the Radiant Citadel,
Yeah.
so Xenophon does not know.
I think with a 10, you had maybe heard some of what you were told about already, but you wouldn't necessarily know more than that.
how about a dirty 20 on religion?
That'll certainly do it. So you know that there are several different sort of costumes that you see, themed through here, and some of them are like beautiful dresses that represent La Katrina, who is patron spirit of the city, sometimes thought of as a sort of goddess of death, but in like in the way that you might expect for a celebration of this kind, not like an evil, scary spirit, but like
Remembrance
yes, exactly.
more than anything.
And that some of the other outfits actually represent someone named Don Roque, a long dead politician who became kind of a satirical face of the government. And so lots of times the people who are dressed up like that are acting kind of bumbling and silly.
Yeah.
And then lots of the little kids that are in like little devil costumes are known as Los Diablitos, comical renditions of fiends from local fables.
Mhm.
And as you kind of are explaining that, one of those little kids comes over and has just like a little wooden blunted trident who just kind of goes ha 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 and like pokes you with it and then runs away.
And back. And I imagine there's one of the people dressed as a politician is like does like a incredibly acrobatic pratfall.
Yeah. So you may recall as characters that you certainly you can, if you like, choose to stake out the sinkhole, but you did have several other clues.
I think we since we have we're in the city and we have images of specifically one labeled home. We should try and find that place, and that might have some answers.
If we can
Well,
find it, sure.
If we can find it.
I mean, I'm sure people wouldn't mind pointing us in directions, especially if we're kind about it.
So
Other thoughts?
Well, Xenophon, you're the bard.
I'm the bard. All right. We have that. We have the name of that tiefling. Let's go home. Let's scorch the root of the matter.
you
Let's
had
try to find
the locket as well.
Yes.
the locket as well.
Oh yeah, never mind. You gave it. I remember the description now. Okay, never
Well,
mind.
it's just it's a little sketch of a smiling woman.
Yeah.
Let's try to find the home. It'll give you a chance to see the city at the very least anyway, even if we
Sure.
can't find it.
So I think that something so I guess tell me what's your approach. You have some clues, but like what do you do to put this plan into action?
Well, I mean, we have a distinctive, pictures with distinctive architecture. Maybe if look around, see if we see any of that, and if not,
Find the area of the city that this house might be in.
Well,
Or
also,
show people the picture and ask them if they know where it is.
Yeah, there in the locket we found? Maybe someone knows that person.
I think that would be less likely to work than finding the house.
I mean, find someone who be amenable and show them the drawing of the architecture to see. Hey, do you know where this place is?
lots of maybe we could and not as many.
All right.
We do this is.
Okay. So all right. So I will find somebody. I will pull out the picture of the home and ask, have you seen buildings like this? Do you know where this might be?
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
All right, let's see what my bard can actually persuade people to do anything.
Oh, bard.
Can you give yourself
Bard
inspiration?
No, I cannot.
No.
And I'm out of it anyway. The bard has a dirty 20.
So yeah, I think what you find is this is a like maybe a 50-something or 50-something in human terms, but a dwarf woman who has clearly had a lot of sangria and is having a great time in the celebrations, and is just really excited to talk to such an amazing and interesting different group of people. Wow, look at you. You're obviously from out of town, but you came to town at the best possible time.
Trying to
Look at all
invoke
this. This is great.
Without a doubt.
trying to evoke the drunk girl shouting into the ear of her boyfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God.
But yeah, so she squints at the drawings a little bit, and she says, "Well, obviously this is in the Galvanis district. It's that way, a couple blocks. I feel like this one." Yeah, this one is one of those Vincent Dodds. It's like in the old, like when the city was older, it used to be like a fancy mansion, but then like those people like got like poor, and so now it's like a bunch of little apartments in what used to be the big mansion before. This one, yeah. I feel like, yeah, I no, I think. Yeah, okay, if you look for, there's going to be like a covered well, has like green on it. If you find that one and you just like turn around and around, you'll see it. One of those.
I thank you, good
Okay.
lady, for your help.
I think
Okay.
Doña Rosa lives
Whom?
there. Doña Rosa.
Who is Doña
Yeah.
Rosa?
Hmm?
Yeah, the
Exel,
locket.
Exel says, show her the locket. Maybe that is the person she's speaking of.
I think Dianok has a locket, doesn't he?
Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
I show the lady of the locket. Say,
Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's her. What a cute little locket.
we're
That's so
hoping.
cute. Yeah, that's definitely her though.
Oh,
Do you know where she lives? Is this the green
Oh
home?
yeah, no, like that's her house. That's where she lives. Her and her son.
ah,
All right then, let's go find that place.
The
Thank
son's
you, good
name?
lady.
thank
Okay.
you.
Oh sure. You know, make sure to thank your ancestors tonight. Because, you know, without our ancestors, none of us would be here.
This is true.
It's true.
And so she blends back into this whole procession, and you are able to be on your way.
I would frankly be terrified to meet my ancestors. I'm not sure what they would think of me being here far away from the monastery.
Well, the ancestors I have that are living would probably be like, makes sense. The ones that know what happened to me, be like, makes sense.
It is no bad thing to be who you are, Dianok.
True. I think they'd be more, more, more disappointed in the whole exile thing, and just kind of play with the spaces where their middle fingers used to be.
Lance, how would your ancestors, what would you say to your ancestors?
Well,
We're
given
walking as we're doing this, by the way, GM. We're
Yeah.
heading
Sure, sure.
yeah, well, given this is the ancestral chainmail. I got it from my dad, and he got it from his mom, and she got it from her mom, and so on
How
and so
old is
forth.
that? How old is your chainmail?
It's pretty old. I'm following in the family tradition, really.
Honoring your ancestors by following a tradition is a good thing. Pixel?
Yep.
My family is large, though I was different. Though I have come to understand that my difference is special, and I'm hoping this journey will show me just how special. Though maybe if I looked far enough in my ancestry, there may be some who have had this specialty as well. And then maybe I could say I'm carrying on a legacy.
Canthan?
Anthan has gotten really quiet. He's
Okay,
is-
if he
is-
doesn't answer, then I will just
yeah, he's,
switch to the weather or something.
So,
How about them Yankees?
as you've made your way following the directions, there's a few places where you have to kind of laterally interpret what she actually said, but you eventually do find your way to the building. She led you true after all, and so you see the building that matches that drawing. And this large manor shows its age, but the building is well cared for and, like the rest of the city, cheerfully decorated for the impending festival. A colorful altar stands opposite the entrance, its tiers covered with sketched portraits. You hear sobbing coming from one of the apartments.
Mm.
Wow. On a night like tonight, I think sobbing is the would be the most appropriate place to go.
Someone is in distress. We should see to their distress.
let's go.
So you can see which window you hear it from, and you can. It's clear how to get to the door to that unit. Like, are you being stealthy at all as you approach, or?
Mm,
No, I'm not being stealthy. I want to help someone, not sneak
Sure,
up
no,
on
sure.
someone.
I just thought.
Yep.
I'm not suggesting
No.
that you should have.
more
But
polite
so,
than
so
stealthy.
I think as you are going up the stairs that lead to that particular door, the sobbing does kind of stop, and then as you are getting towards the top, the door does open, and you see a woman there, and it's very clear that this is the woman from the locket drawing, and she faces you, and you can see her eyes are red. But she looks down at you defiantly and says, "Are you here to kill my son?"
Why would we wish to kill your son, lady?
I feel like that's not an answer.
We followed clues we found in a mine to your doorstep. To you.
And what are your intentions?
Our intentions are to stop the demonic activity in the city. Can you help us?
She looks really torn.
Dianok will send the locket and their mage hand to basically hand to her.
Nice.
She looks at it, and her eyes soften a little bit, and she grabs it away, if assuming you don't like yank it away or something. And she just looks at all of you and just says, "I'll only tell you. I will only talk to you if you promise to spare my son."
I'll look at the others for
Mhm.
their reaction.
Has your son been changed?
Oh,
You have to promise.
We've found evidence along the way that an innocent is being used in a demonic ritual. That sounds like it might describe your son.
I'm
And-
hearing a lot of details without a promise. If you promise to spare my son, I'll tell you what I know.
If preserving your son is possible while ending the demonic threat, I will do so.
You have to promise.
I promise to preserve your son if it is possible.
That's not what she wants. Yeah, I'm looking around at the others too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We promise we will not. We will spare your son.
You kind of said a lot
Okay.
of words there. You promise you will spare my son.
Yes, I promise you. I hold up a hand. By the monastery to which I am bound, I promise I will spare your son.
Yep. I
And
promise.
hold those of the old Lord Gordon crown to thy promise.
Her eyes kind of start to tear up again, and she almost for a moment looks like her knees are going to give out, and she just holds the door to him. Just, all right, please come inside.
Okay.
She,
I'll leave the others in.
yeah. She leads you into just a kind of a small, sitting room, and she just kind of collapses into, overstuffed kind of, easy chair sort of thing. Just says, I thought all of this was done with decades ago, and now my poor Serapio is caught up in it. He had nothing to do with it.
All right. Please go on. It'll be all right. I'm speaking soothingly, carefully, gently.
I think I think that the I think the person you are following is my son, Serapio. He is my son. He is human. He is not a monster. But I I had thought he was just sick, but earlier today I confronted him, and he told me that he's been transforming. He doesn't know why, but I'm afraid that I have to tell you an old story. You see, I married for love years ago, only to discover after our marriage that my husband, a man named Orencio, was a sorcerer who consorted with demons. He did evil, horrible things, and as soon as I found out, I alerted the clerics, and he was executed. And although I was obviously heartbroken to lose a husband, he was awful. He had deceived me utterly.
Mhm.
But he was executed. He's dead years ago. But I discovered only afterwards that I was pregnant. My son was Orencio's son. I named him Serapio. But even though I worried, he was a good boy. Serapio is a good boy. He's grown into a good man. I don't understand why this would be happening to him now. But I think the cult that Orencio served must be doing something to make this happen. But he's innocent. He had nothing to do with this cult. I'm certain of it. That's why you have to help him.
We'll do what we can. Um,
Yeah.
Yes.
I there is a
Absolutely.
particular.
It feels like your son is being used as a tool by this cult, a weapon.
Yes. So what I'm saying is, if you find him, if you have some way to help him, please do. And if you can't, bring him here. I can keep him calm. I can look after him here until we can find some other way to help him.
Hmm.
You know, Exo looks around at everyone and says, if the culprit is who I think it is, ending his life may break this spell.
Who are you talking
well,
about?
There is a particular tiefling with a horn that's been replaced with a gemstone.
Itzman. That's
Mhm.
that's Serapio's employer. You think he's involved with this? I never did trust him. He acts so
Yes.
friendly, but I just never believe it. You can see in his eyes that it's a front of some kind.
Well,
I never trusted him, but I wouldn't have ever thought it could be anything like this.
well, he just so happened to, when we showed up to say we were investigating, regardless of what we said, he still sealed the entrance that we entered. We didn't think we would make it out, but we did.
And the exit we came out was within the city.
Mhm.
Um, one of the uh, one of the setting details that I didn't describe earlier was that the here in the living room there is a portrait of a stern-looking man on it,
Mhm.
but it's um, I mean, based on what she was describing of Serapio's father, Orencio, does not sound like she would keep a portrait of him.
Mhm.
That picture over there, is that your son?
No, that's his stepfather, Evaristo. Alas, he we recently lost him, and he died of what seemed like an illness, but Serapio said that he thinks that whatever's happening to him was responsible.
Was it uh, an affliction that made him unable to stay warm?
Yes, that's right.
Serrano.
Yeah.
Do you believe all of this is linked? I believe, and from what we found, apparently there's uh, has something to do with changing the or corrupting the Night of the Remembered.
What a horrible thing.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, the place where your son worked is, I. Where would that be?
Or do you know where his employer lives?
One moment. Sorry, I'm.
Uh,
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just making sure I'm reading ahead. Um, well, he doesn't have just like one place. He meets this Itzman at various places that they arrange, and he just I thought he was some kind of an assistant. I'm afraid I don't know where they they would be. This
Mhm.
Itzman, I suppose, is I suppose he lives in the rich part of town, but I don't know that I don't know that they would be there now.
Hmm.
Did your did that individual you spoke to talk about the forge? Did
Yeah.
part of town
The
that was in?
yeah. Is there an abandoned forge? We talked to someone who in the Radiant Citadel who was asking the shield bearers for assistance.
They saw somebody well dressed going into that abandoned forge.
Well, the Marfel Ironworks is sort of the district where all the different forges and such tend to be located. I don't know the specific one that you might be talking about, but if it's a forge, I'm sure it would be in that area.
Okay.
I think that's where we should head.
Yeah, I think that's our next stop.
Okay.
We thank you very much for your help, and we will do our utmost to help your son and bring this to a peaceful resolution for everyone.
She's starting to tear up again. She's dabbing at her eyes with a handkerchief, and it's just like, I just, I, I, I feel like this is still all my fault for not seeing
You,
through.
you cannot blame yourself. That way,
Yeah.
that way lies recrimination and self-hatred, and I would not see you that do that, fair lady.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let the blame lie with the people who committed the evil.
Yes.
Well said, Flounce. Well said.
We will put this crown upon Itzman's head.
So, as you are you heading out then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, one of the things that certainly just as you're coming out, you see a few more people that are down there by that the ofrenda altar, sort of
Mm-hmm.
that's outside, and there's some people who are sort of doing their own sort of offerings there, but they see you and just sort of just say, "Ah, strangers, are you here in town to learn about the Night of the Remembrance? We can show you how to perform an offering if you like."
Perhaps we could observe your offering and do our own after.
Certainly, and they show you how they take candles and yellow marigold flowers, and they have some like they could offer you if you wanted to do one, and they say it's typical that if you have a portrait of the person you would like to reach, that is you know. If you have one, you would want to use it, but it's not strictly necessary if you don't. But then you would want to place some kind of offering, which would be any kind of food or drink that the deceased enjoyed in life, or small curios. And you just set all of those out, and you just kind of you sit with it on the ofrenda, and this is something basically I'm saying that, like, if any of you in character wanted to do this, there is you can actually you perform the ritual.
I think
Panthan
Flounce
is
would be
still.
interested, but she doesn't have anything, except her armor, and she has to, keep that with her.
Yeah.
She-
We need
Well,
to
I
find
mean,
those.
you could place it on like you don't have to leave it there forever.
yeah,
You could put it on there while you performed the ritual if you wanted.
yeah. It doesn't sound like it's a long ritual,
No.
and I think at least one of us should. So Flounce will give it a shot.
Okay. So the locals are very pleased to initiate a new person into the whole ritual, and you perform everything as they said. You light the candles, and distribute the flowers. And who are you focusing on as you put your armor for the moment on the altar?
Uh, my great great grandmother,
Oh.
who was I won't say she's the original owner of the armor, but she's the oldest one that I know that had it,
Mm-hmm.
and she's kind of the one that inspired me to set off on this journey to see what I can see.
Okay. So you feel the magic beginning to sort of take place, like in your heart. And strictly speaking, the way this works is that you have now got a special charm, which will allow you to cast Speak with Dead during a long rest to contact the spirit of that family member without needing to have their body present. And the spirit's answers to your questions you will be able to talk with them in that
Oh,
way.
awesome,
Wow.
Yeah,
Cool.
awesome.
yeah. So you'll be able to do that one time.
All right.
But so I think again with the highest passive perception, Canthan are like, well, so Canthan, what is Canthan doing and or thinking or feeling while Flounce is doing all that?
Panthan is trying to find something else to pay attention
Mm-hmm.
to. Is um he's kind of turned his back on the whole proceeding, and is standing with his head back in that pose of someone who is trying not to have strong emotions right now because it's really not the time.
So
and yeah.
so I think then as you're kind of trying to look anywhere else, you happen to be looking down the alley that leads back to like the main stretch, and I think there's a moment where you kind of do a double take because people have been coming and going through there, but the person you see coming through it now is Itzman. And he is
Mhm.
sort of walking through that alley with sort of a determination, a sense of purpose and destination in mind. And he makes his way through, and then he kind of turns around and he stops because he sees all of you at the ofrenda that is kind of across from the entrance to this building. Mouth just kind of opens for a moment, and then he turns and runs.
Get
Face
him!
it.
That's our plan. Get him.
And I think that's
Yeah.
actually where we are going to stop for tonight because
Dun, dun,
the
dun.
next bit is a chase through the Night of the Remembrance Parade.
Oh boy,
Oh boy.
this will be messed.
All right, so we'll have to find out what happens with can the Order of the Golden Prawn catch Itzman during the parade? Can Serapio be rescued from this cruel fate? We will have to find out next time when we return for more adventure on so many levels.
So many levels.
So many levels.
Yay!